Hey everybody, Ross with Coinsncoffee here. Today we continue the long-awaited part 3 of the Mercury Dime Errors review. In this video we take a look at all of the repunched mint marks from the 1940s. Be sure to watch the first two videos if you have not already, as well as a review of the Roosevelt Dimes by CGB Coins Matt. All videos links listed in the description. The purpose of this series is to help you identify errors when purchasing constitutional silver for your collection or stack, and thereby increasing the total value. The first error on our list is going to be the 1940 San Francisco Rpm4 Fs 501. Just over 21.5 million were minted that year in San Francisco, and the first mint mark can be found northwest of the secondary mark. Look for better examples of this error before sending it off for grading so that the fees are worth it for you. In 2016, at Heritage Auctions, a PCGS MS66 sold for $104. Next up is a very similar error to the first, the 1941 San Francisco Rpm4 Fs 501. Over 43 million were minted that year, and the first mint mark can be found again northwest of the secondary mark. Due to the higher mintage, condition is key when determining value for this error. In 2018, at Heritage Auction, a PCGS MS65 sold for $192, while an MS66 with full bands went for $480, more than double the price. To the right, we have the same year in mint but RPM number 5, FS 501. This time the initial mark is northeast of the secondary. Unfortunately, there is no auction history for this error at this time. Perhaps one of you watching could be the first. In 1942, the Denver Mint produced over 60.7 million dimes, and they ended up with a few errors. First is the 1942 Denver Rpm4 Fs 501, with the error lying just south of the correction mark. In 2018, on eBay, a PCGS MS66 with full bands sold for $585. Second is the RPM number 5 on the right. Look southeast to find the misplaced original mark on this RPM, and lesser graded examples can still fetch a respectable sum, as in 2014 at Great Collections, a PCGS AU50 sold for $101. Mint state versions of this coin increase exponentially in value. On to the next year, 1943 San Francisco Rpm4 Fs 501. And this one is very unique. This year, there were 60.4 million minted at the San Francisco, and they had stamped this coin 3 times with the mint mark. So you have 3 different S's. So one is going to be west, and then the other is southwest of the overlying S. And you can see in the picture 1, 2, 3 of each of the S's. In 2017, at Great Collections, a PCGS MS65 sold for $220. Here we have the 1944 Denver Rpm3 Fs 101. And this one had 62.2 million minted at the Denver Mint. Look southeast to the secondary mark, and you'll see a very shallow D on that corner. Now, this is one of the lesser valued RPMs, but still wanted to include it in the list. And in 2014, at Heritage Auction, an NGC MS65 sold for $66. Here we have another pairing of RPMs from the same year in mint. The 1945 Denver Rpm4 Fs 501 has a very strong D northeast of the secondary mark. To the right, we actually have a D over a horizontal D with the RPM6 FS501. And both of these errors fetch very sizable amounts. In 2013, RPM number 1 sold for $495 with an PCGS MS64 at Great Collections. And in 2017 at Great Collections, RPM number 6 sold for $252 with a PCGS AU50 example. On our last example, and probably the one with the most room to grow in our list, is the 1945 San Francisco RPM3 FS503. This is the S over horizontal S. Almost 42 million dimes were minted in San Francisco that year, and the first S was turned 90 degrees, and then a proper S stamped on top. Now, in 2018 on eBay, a PCGS F15 sold for $203. That is very low on the grading scale, and anything higher to a VF to maybe even an AU could fetch a sizable amount. All right, everyone, this concludes part 3 of the Mercury Dimes series reviewing all of the RPMs from the 1940s. RPMs are a little bit easier to distinguish from other errors, and you can find some pretty good value listed in them. And pretty soon, part 4 and the conclusion of the series will also include the 1940s, but we will be reviewing all of the double die obverses and reverses for this decade. All right, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. This has been Ross with Coins and Coffee, and I'll catch y'all next time.